Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cryptid's Combo Corner, where today we're taking Azorius Enduring Ideal into the Kickoff. Although I confess it's not actually today, I recorded these videos about a month ago, but they'll come out. Enduring Ideal is a 7 mana spell that gets any enchantment from your deck into play. The best thing to get is Overwhelming Splendor, which turns all of your opponent's creatures into 1/1s with no abilities. So completely shuts down all creature decks. Second best thing, Dovescape. Counters all non-creature spells and turns them into 1/1 birds. So this is great against control, this is great against creature decks. Unfortunately, they do get a bunch of 1/1s. You need to not die. That's where Solitary Confinement comes in. It just prevents your opponent's 1/1s from dealing you any damage. However, awkwardly enough, you do need to discard a card at the beginning of each of your turns, so you need to draw a card every turn to make up for it. Court of Vantress makes you the Monarch. This also has the benefit of making win conditions by creating a token copy of something every turn. So this also overlaps with a way to win the early game. The Enduring Ideal lock is these 4 cards in play. In addition to the Enduring Ideal lock, we also have Solitary Confinement plus Waterbending Scroll. So again, you don't draw a card for your turn. You instead discard a card for your turn, or the confinement goes away. Waterbending Scroll allows you to draw cards each turn. It works very nicely in concert with Whir of Invention. So 7 is a lot of mana. However, you can suspend a Lotus Bloom on turn 1 and get 7 mana on turn 4, or you can Whir of Invention for a Lotus Bloom on turn 3 to get 7 mana on turn 4. So that is this Azorius Enduring Ideal deck. We've got a instant finisher in Enduring Ideal that has a nice overlapping package with this Waterbending Scroll Solitary Confinement game plan. We'll take a run through the Kickoff. Alright, and here we are for round 1. This hand is absurd. We get to go turn 2 Waterbending Scroll, turn 3 Solitary Confinement. And then if that's not good enough, yeah, the world is our oyster. Especially Jace. Jace likes to play mono-white Scam, which uses pre-game actions to get the life total around 30 or so, and then the rest of the time just beats down with the Sarah thingy. Oh, Angels instead of regular Scam. Honestly, probably a better matchup. I get to jam this Waterbending Scroll on 2. I get to just draw cards until the end of time, and then the Solitary Confinement will lock it up. I think I'll wait to play the Solitary until they make me. Probably just hold up Mana Leak or draw a card with this Waterbending Scroll for next turn. Mana Leak, double Archmage's Charm, Waterbending Scroll, a lot of options here. Resplendent Angel is probably going to eat an Archmage's Charm here. I value the mana efficiency on Mana Leak. If we are able to find another island, then we can draw a card with the Waterbending Scroll and cast Mana Leak. And the Angels deck typically has enough expensive cards that I don't think the Mana Leak is ever going to be dead. We also have Lotus Bloom coming down now. Timeless Dragon. That is an island. It does cost 2 mana, but it is an island, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. That can be our win condition too. Here's another angel, and here's the mana leak. I could draw a card here with the Waterbending Scroll, but I don't think I need to. I'd rather have the Bloom in play. Okay, we probably hold on to the Bloom to discard to the Solitary Confinement. And then I think I just pass here. Like, I could activate the Waterbending Scroll, but if we miss, then we have to spend the Lotus Bloom if they play something we want to counter. Honestly, there's not that much I want to counter here. Yeah, like that one's fine. I think I'm just gonna draw a card. We would have been so fine. Okay, but anyway, all of these things are combat damage. And you know what nullifies combat damage? Solitary Confinement. Yep, Case of the Uneaten Feast, also fine. You get to flashback all of your things. Great. I'll go ahead and draw a card here. I don't think... Okay, the second Waterbending Scroll makes life easy. I'm just gonna play the Solitary Confinement. Because now, on our next turn, we can ditch the Lotus Bloom, play Island, play Waterbending Scroll, and then start drawing 2 cards a turn while holding up Archmage's Charm. And this game is pretty over. Yep, you got a Shalai. And then... we don't care about any of these things, they're just combat damage. Okay, so we discard the Lotus Bloom. And then our win condition here is going to be probably just find an Enduring Ideal. Oh, Court of Vantress also pretty good. I'll go ahead and just play that. We can copy their Shalai. We're the Monarch now. We're drawing 3 cards a turn. We don't have to draw 3 cards a turn. We don't want to deck out. But eventually we're going to find Overwhelming Splendor and the mana necessary to cast it. Yep, you have another angel. It is going to make it a bit annoying to win the game because they're going to be at a pretty high life total, but it'll be fine. Okay, so what am I copying on my upkeep? I'm probably copying this Lotus Bloom. And discarding the Mystic Gate. We got plenty of card draw here. I'm not going to run out anytime soon. Starfield's great. Dovescape also great. I could just play both of them, huh? Dovescape turns off all non-creature spells, including my own, but when my spells get countered, they go to the graveyard. But then Archmage's Charm is offline, so I think we just go ahead and play the Starfield. Opponent casts Council's Judgment. I cast Archmage's Charm. This is a good one to know about. Alright, cool. Begin sideboard. Alright, let's see. What do we want here? I imagine they're going to have in Stony Silence post board. They already showed us the whatchamacallits. The Council's Judgment. I think we just bring in the creature removal. Do we need Kiora Vests of the Sea God? I don't think so. I think we can trim that. The way that we win this game is likely going to be Enduring Ideal or Shackles. Iceberg is good, Confinement is good, Unable to Scream is removal spell. So what am I trimming here? Everything is so good. Like, maybe we cut the Unable to... Maybe we only do 3 Unable to Scream? I think Mana Leak's pretty important. Counter spells are great. I'll cut 1 Solitary Confinement. We're usually not under a whole lot of pressure, especially since we're bringing in so much removal. Okay, this hand is great. If we find an Enduring Ideal or a Solitary Confinement, we are chillin'. We've got a Mana Leak for an early play. And an Archmage's Charm for any follow-up they may have. There is a question of if we play the Waterbending Scroll on 2, because my guess is they're going to play Necromentia or some scary 4-drop Angel. Honestly, that might be fine. I might play the Waterbending Scroll, and then if they answer it, we're kind of in trouble, huh? I think we just Mana Leak something and then on turn 4 we can play Scroll activate with Archmage's Charm up thanks to the Lotus Bloom. Yeah, we probably get rid of that. No thank you. Okay, Island, hold up Archmage's Charm. If they play like that, yeah, I don't think we care about that one. You can have it. Like, we have 3 Unable to Scream. I wonder if they cast Silence here. Nope. Okay, great. Second Waterbending Scroll is also great. So here's the first one, and then we pass. If they give the Angel lifelink, do we care? I don't think so. Like, it would be very funny to use the Archmage's Charm to yoink their Angel that they made with the Resplendent Angel. Oh, this also only casts spells. Okay. I will draw a card. There is an Enduring Ideal. Do I think I'm going to die next turn? Yes. So we gotta play the Enduring Ideal and go get Solitary? Because, I mean, a removal spell gets us here. No, because if they cast a removal spell, they can't pump the Angel. This is going to 5, this is going to 3. Okay, great. So we get Confinement. Oh, it probably would have been better to get the Iceberg, huh? Just kill the Angel. Yep. Okay, so there's the Council's judgment. You voted for Solitary Confinement. I'll also vote for Solitary Confinement. Sure. Then I'll get another one. Yeah, the right call was to get the Iceberg on the last turn. Or Splendor. No, Splendor would have been bad. If we had gotten Iceberg last turn, we could have gotten Confinement this turn and been okay. But you do what you do. If they have second judgment, we're out of luck. Doesn't look like it. Okay, and then that means we're good because we get Dovescape. And I am not going to draw a card here because I don't want to draw one of our combo pieces. Okay, so we get Dovescape. And then next turn we get Overwhelming Splendor, which then turns off all of their creatures. This turns off all of their non-creatures. That's the lock established. At the end of the day, we get the Reanimator thingy. We'll discard this Court of Vantress to the Solitary Confinement. And yeah, the court will copy whatever we want. Boop. Bang. Okay, cool. Now this is officially the lock. The game has ended. My opponent is more than welcome to play it out here, but I don't think there's anything that they can do because none of their creatures have text, and when they cast non-creature spells, they get countered. I think opponent's trying to activate Abandoned Air Temple, but Overwhelming Splendor is a hell of a card. Alright, GG's opponent. See you in the next round. Alright, here we are for round 2. This hand, I think, is just okay. If we hit both of our land drops, we do get to cast Kiora Best's the Sea God on turn 3 with, or on turn 4 with Mana Leak Up, but I think I'm going to ship it back. Rakura. Oh man. I don't know. Sometimes they play mono red, sometimes they play blue-white control. This hand would be, I think, just fine against mono red. Like, Solitary Confinement is very strong in that matchup. And then the Whir would find the Waterbending Scroll, but I think I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, this hand is better? Yeah, I'm gonna put back a Whir of Invention. And then hopefully we just rip 3 islands off the top. Okay, they are mono-red. Fortunately, if we do find enough islands for this Waterbending Scroll, I don't think mono-red has any main deck ways to answer Solitary. We are going to be on a quick block, of course. Okay, that's island number 1. Here's a Waterbending Scroll. Okay, Nomad Courier is fine. We really don't want to see an equipment here. Chain Lightning, also fine. So this will be 4-5 next turn. I think we gotta take another draw step. We've got Mana Leak to counter like a Shrapnel Blast or something. Yeah, the mana being a bit awkward here. If this were any type of island, then we would have been able to jam the Solitary Confinement and been okay. Alright, sorry for the brief interruption. Okay, so we take 5 here. We're probably dead. Like, it is what it is. I think this matchup is great. End step. Do we draw an island? Yes, asterisk. Okay, alright, well, I suspect we're going to die in response to this one here, but yeah, okay, bang. Alright, cool. Game 2, and we get to bring in a lot of good sideboard cards. We get to bring in the Unable to Scream. We get to bring in the Denix. Is Repeal good? I don't think Repeal is good, but what do we want to cut? We don't need Kiora Bests the Sea God. We want Dovescape. We don't need Starfield. Iceberg is fine. Oh, Intervention's great. Do we care about Overwhelming Splendor? I think we don't care about Overwhelming Splendor in this matchup. They can have as many creatures as they want. Shackles is fine. I think we cut to Archmage's Charm. We keep in all 4 solitaries. That card is nuts versus them. Okay, cool. On the play, we have a removal spell. If we draw a land, this becomes a land. I think it's fine. It's a bit awkward. But, like, their deck does tend to fold to a single removal spell. So there's a question here of, do we let them keep the Nomad Courier? And I think the answer is going to depend on what we draw. If we draw a land, then no, I would rather cycle. We don't draw land, so we just make it so they can't draw more cards. Possible I should have saved that for one of their free equipper, but given that they just played a Grim Initiate and a Fervent Champ with no equipment to put on them, I think this worked out better. Alright, perfect. There's a land. I'm going to play a Dennick. Do we play Dennick or do we cycle Timeless Dragon? I think we play Dennick. We can cycle Timeless Dragon next turn. Just having a 2/3 lifelinker is so good in this matchup. It probably just eats a burn spell, but We do get a Lotus Bloom next turn. Okay, they have a sword, and they are going to equip the sword and swing in, and Ardenic cannot block. That's fine. Yeah, Ardenic also can't block the Grim Initiate. If it blocks the Grim Initiate, it just dies to the sword. So, no blocks. Take 6. Lotus Bloom is turned late. It would have been great to be able to steal the Fervent Champion in response to the equip. Ooh, Mystic Gate is great. Okay, so what do we want to do here? I think because we drew the untapped land, next turn we can just Enduring Ideal. So I want to gain 2 life, maybe? Oh, this is tough. Okay, I'll go ahead and cycle the Timeless Dragon. So they're going to hit us for 5 with this next turn. We'll get Irrigated Farmland. Although, realistically, I should have gotten basic planes to play around Price of Progress. I think no blocks, or no attacks, rather. Second Fervent Champion, sure. Second Sword of Fire, nice, huh? Okay. Are we dead to that? I don't think so. So this will be... Oh, they can't target each other if they're equipped. So it'll just be 5, 10. Yeah, not dead. Great. It's so funny that the protection keeps us alive here. We get to block the Grim Initiate. We don't get to block the Grim Initiate, but that's fine. No blocks. Take 10. You draw 2 cards. Next turn I cast Enduring Ideal, get a Solitary Confinement, and win the game, potentially. Now, it is a bit tricky. I did board out all of my good cards to get. And I have the Court of Vantress in my hand. Alright, well, if it's not good enough, it's not good enough. What do we even get here? I think we get Solitary Confinement, and then we get Dovescape. And then... yeah, we may have messed up here in boarding out all of our stuff. Okay. Well, we have a Solitary Confinement in play. Okay, so we get to fog a few times because the Solitary Confinement, because we can fetch the Solitary Confinement. This might be enough, like we just get the Timeless Dragon back. Yeah, let's get a Dovescape first. And then we can pitch this Archmage's Charm. Okay, discard Court of Vantress. We'll go to combat. Attack for 4. We'll see how many times they let us attack for 4 before they make some birds. We're pretty dead, but if they don't realize that they can turn non-creature spells into birds, then we might still be alive. Alright, they have realized that they can turn non-creature spells into birds, and we are probably dead. Yeah, not probably. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and scoop it up. GG's opponent. I think theoretically this is a good matchup for me, I just boarded wrong. Like, we need the ability to have our 7 mana win the game button to actually be a 7 mana win the game button. Like, if we were to have the Starfield here, then it's not particularly difficult to win the game. As it is impossible. Right. GG's opponent. Alright, and here we are for round 4. Sorry something came up during round 3, so I wasn't able to record, but we're on the play. We have turn 4, Kiora bests the Sea God, Overwhelming Splendor in hand. Mana Leak is fine, Whir is fine. I think I'm going to have to ship this back. It's basically, and then rewarded. This hand is much better. We've got a removal spell and 2 card draw spells, plus a finisher. I think we actually put back the Kiora, though, with the thinking that against control, the Court plus Waterbending Scroll is going to be enough. Razor Verge Thicket, Virulent Emissary. I see. So it is not controlled. This is the Amalia combo deck. So I'm going to go ahead and jam this Waterbending Scroll here. If they play an Amalia, we do have to kill it. They do play an Amalia, and I will make it unable to scream. So let's go ahead and turn that one off. Yes, I'll pay the 3 life. So for those who haven't seen it before, Amalia plus Wildgrowth Walker make a loop where Amelia explores and the Wild Growth Walker gains life, so Amelia explores and so on and so forth. And that just keeps going ad infinitum. Okay, and they have a Sentinel of the Nameless City, which will generate some good value for them, but I'm not super worried about it. I think, given the choice between playing Aang's Iceberg and drawing a card with this Waterbending Scroll, it's probably going to be drawing a card. Do I want to do this main phase? I guess, nah, I've already played my land for turn. We'll see what they are going to do. If they just attack with Sentinel and, like, explore twice with these map tokens, I'm pretty happy with that. And I'll just draw a card at end of turn. Second, Sentinel, sure. So far, we're definitely in the... Okay, sure. Exploring onto the Amelia. Okay, there's an Enduring Ideal, so now we just need to find... It is a bit awkward that we drew the Dovescape. But if we find... Okay, that's a good one. We'll turn you off. What did they reveal? Another land? Sure. And if we find a Whir, then we can go get a Lotus Bloom, Enduring Ideal, for probably just Splendor. Although, if they're super aggressive, we might have to go get a Confinement first. Notably, this was our second Unable to Scream. We no longer have any more of those in the deck. Okay. They may chord in response to this. Okay, Lotus Bloom. Not quite what I was looking for. When I said I would like a Lotus Bloom here, I think at beginning of combat I'm going to take their Virulent Emissary. It's a nice blocker, and I would like to have it. Okay, they're going to whir for something. X equals 3. Sure. What you getting? This might be a Knight of Autumn to blow up Veto. That one's less fun. And by less fun, I mean more fun. But much worse for me. Okay, so now we have to kill any Wild Growth Walker. Okay, they're to declare attackers. Execute the plan. I'm not sold on this being the correct line, but it's a fun line, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. I probably just die to a Wild Growth Walker here. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright. Fortunately, we've got good stuff in the side for this matchup. More Unable to Scream, or Supreme Verdict. Shackles is going to be very good. Archmage's Charm is less good. I think Solitary Confinement stops Veto, so we'll go ahead and move that away. I think we don't need too many of them, though. I will cut to Archmage's Charm. Can maybe bring in some Repeal. Yeah, maybe we do something like this. Alright. I don't know if this is good. We're going to ship it. Okay, this hand has 2 removal spells, 3 lands, and a Waterbending Scroll. Also a Mana Leak, which we can hold up on turn 2 alongside this Timeless Dragon. This is about all you can ask for, I think. Though I might cast the Scroll in turn 2. We'll see what they do. Nope, with the word draw, we're just gonna pass and cycle the Timeless Dragon if they do nothing. If they do something, then we might Mana Leak it, plus go cycle Timeless Dragon, Unable to Scream the Emissary. Honestly, the Emissary isn't that scary. I'm tempted to just ignore it. That said, we do have 2 Unable to Scream and a Waterbending Scroll, so... Yeah. Nah, we saved it. Hopefully we draw an island next turn so we can go Waterbending Scroll, unable to scream. Scavenging Ooze is rude. Okay, Lotus Bloom not the worst draw here. I'll go ahead and turn that into a toy artifact creature and play this Waterbending Scroll. If they kill it, they kill it. If they don't, then we pass the turn holding up Whir plus Scroll activation. Second Emissary is not scary. Amalia is a little scary. What do they flip? Overgrown Tomb, Temple Garden. Okay. They have 1,000,000 lands in hand. And by 1,000,000, I mean 2. Do we get an island? No. Okay. So the greedy line here is to just draw a card. I think we'll play it safe, because we've got the Lotus Bloom coming off suspend in 2 turns. We'll turn off the Amalia. We are flooded, unfortunately. If their last card is Cord, we might be in trouble. Okay, what are you naming with Necromentia? Probably Enduring Ideal? If they name Lotus Bloom, it's really good for me. It would be wild to name Whir of Invention here, but possible. Okay, take another 3. Lotus Bloom ticks down. That's a good one. That means that we don't just die to something off the top or a Court of Calling. So I think I just pass. I'm going to draw a card here. Yep, you have an Avacyn's Pilgrim. I could also Whir. I think I'll draw. We really want to find another island. Like, we've got this Lotus Bloom coming off suspend next turn anyway. Supreme Verdict is probably the best draw in our deck, aside from Basic Island, I suppose. Do they have a silence or something? Okay, Timeless Dragon's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just do this now. We'll get Prairie Stream, play the Prairie Stream. Don't quite have enough to both play Verdict and activate the scroll, but that's okay. Alright, your move, Yugi boy. Alright, Island is perfect here. This lets us activate the scroll and also hold up Whir / Aang's Iceberg. I'm just going to do this now. End of turn, we probably Whir for a Lotus Bloom because we're flooded. Sure, you have a birds. Alright, I think this game is effectively won. We just need to not lose. And one of the ways we not lose is by killing our opponent in time. So let's go ahead and start with this one. White, make a 4/4. And ideally we don't have to play the Iceberg, but it is an option available to us. I would love like a Court of Vantress here. Another Solitary Confinement is not quite what I was looking for. Another island. I think end of turn we're going to Whir. We don't have to do it now. And now we're into the blue-white control stage of the game, where the game is over, but it's going to take a while for it to actually end. So this Whir is probably getting a second Waterbending Scroll. This Whir is probably getting a Shackles. Depending on what opponent does here, of course. Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Sure. That means we're getting Shackles. So can we both get Shackles and activate Shackles without sacrificing the Lotus Bloom? It looks like it. Okay. Perfect. Here is my Shackles. Here is my Vampire. Opponent's deck, very sweet. Okay. Begin sideboarding. Alright, did anything we see that game want us to change what is happening? I mean, a Denic would be nice, but yeah, I think that's about right. We could go down a Solitary Confinement. Maybe for a Vendilion Clique to check to see if the coast is clear. On the draw, I do like another Unable to Scream. Alright, we'll just ship it. It turns out Lost Legacy is still not a very good card. This hand we keep. Shackles is the best payoff in the matchup by a long shot, and we've got 2 removal spells to bridge us to Shackles. We get to play this Prairie stream tapped. So probably next turn they play Amalia, we play Unable to Scream, or a Wild Growth Walker, same thing. Okay. Island, Unable to Scream. What else you got? Nothing yet. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just jam Shackles here. Okay, they are courting for 1. Is this for a Virulent Emissary? For birds. Interesting. I have no idea what they're doing with this here birds, but it's probably gonna get hit by an Aang's Iceberg. Invasion, potentially for Disenchant effects. That's my guess. Hexmage. Okay, so they're gonna flip the invasion. I unfortunately do not have enough islands to be able to steal their flipped invasion. So it goes. It is incredibly sweet, though. Do I take a hit here? I might take a hit. That might be crazy. If I take a hit, then I get to steal something with Shackles. Necromentia. Sure. You know, people really do like bringing this card in. I don't think it's particularly good. Oh, they're naming Supreme Verdict. Oh boy. Okay, well, it is what it is. Okay, I am going to probably kill this Zilortha with my Aang's Iceberg. They put so much work into flipping it, I feel a little bad, but, sometimes people need to be taught that you should not bring in Lost Legacy versus Blue-White Control. And there's the card that, if I were going to name things, I probably would have named. Alright, what you got for me? Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Sure. I think I'm just going to yank this here Birds of Paradise. And you have resolved the 5/5 Flying Death Touch. I will not untap the Vedalken Shackles. The Lotus Bloom will come off Suspend. Oh, it does not come off Suspend yet. Alright. Well, in that case I think I just play this Solitary Confinement in case they have Veto plus Life Gain. And then next turn we'll be able to Lotus Bloom into Enduring Ideal, probably discarding this Whir. I guess I can Whir for second Bloom on end step, just in case there's any funny business. Aha! Okay, cool. I did call it. We've got the Bloom coming off Suspend. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's not worry. Let's just keep it as a card in hand. I don't think I untap Shackles. Just keep him off an extra mana. I will discard this Kiora Bests the Sea God, I think, so that I can Enduring Ideal for the guy. The one, the only. Starfield of Nyx to get back Kiora Bests the Sea God. But first, we get the Overwhelming Splendor. And then we pass the turn. And now we probably untap the Shackles. Second, we get Dovescape, and then this game is locked up. Yes, you can have your creature back. Oh. As is good practice, we'll do it this way. So I think we start with Dovescape, because I don't think there's any way for them to actually kill us. Okay, they've paid a mana for a 1/1. Okay, so that dies. We're going to go ahead and go get Starfield. So on our next turn... yeah, I guess that's fine. And then on our next turn, we can go get the Monarchy. Okay, they have a bunch of ostriches, and I have their Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Good stuff, good stuff. Ostriches, of course, because their bird tokens no longer have flying. I will choose not to untap the Vedalken Shackles. This Starfield of Nyx, we'll get Kiora Bests the Sea God, why not? Just tap all their stuff, they have nothing on board. Yeah, alright. GG's, see y'all in the next round. And we're back for round 5. If I win this, I'll be 4-1 and locked for top 8, I think. This hand looks fine. We've got 3 lands, a Shackles, a removal spell. A little awkward to have the Dovescape in the opener. It means we can't fetch it off of Enduring Ideal, but the rest of the hand I think is strong enough that we keep. Island, huh? Shackles probably not... This hand gets much worse if this is a control mirror. Okay, Archmage's Charm is pretty good. We're going to cycle this Timeless Dragon on their end step. Pretend like we're holding up Mana Leak. Malcolm is fine. We can... I think we're going to scream that because they're likely to have counter magic of their own. So far they're looking very mono-blue tempo. Which I think is a good matchup, especially with the Vendilion Cliques on the board. Okay, another land's great. We'll try and kill this now. They probably have a counterspell, then we'll kill it again. Oh, no counterspell. That's good for us. Interesting. They chose to not counter the removal spell and instead draw 2 cards. Maybe looking for land drops? Definitely looking for land drops. Okay, and then because they're looking for land drops, we're just gonna be very patient here. We don't have to do anything. If they go to their discard, it's very good for us. Yeah, I think we let that resolve, because that means that if they just play a land and pass, then they will discard a card. Okay, I see no reason to not just take the 2-for-1 here. Mana Leak is pretty good. I think game 1 is pretty tough because their deck is full of flash threats and our deck mostly plays at sorcery speed, but Cryptic Command Counterbalance. Am I okay with that? I might just be okay with that. Nah, we'll counter. Oh, I should have countered with the Archmage's Charm, though. Because if we keep the mana leak in hand and we find a land, then we can Shackles with Leak Up. Okay, so what are we expecting here? Probably a Lock Whale is incoming. So let's just draw 2. If they're smart, they will respond when we're tapped out, so we can hit a land and cast an Unable to Scream. Best draws here are probably basic island mana leak. They're debating if they want to counter this. Or deploy a threat. Stoic Sphinx would be annoying here. Counterspell, draw a card. Great. No threats deployed. And they are tapped low, so I'm just gonna Shackles. We'll see what happens. If they have mana leak, then we probably lose, but I want to take this opportunity to deploy a threat. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so we successfully dealt with the first threat. They cast Stoic Sphinx, we Iceberged it. They took a long time thinking about it, though. So I wonder if they're thinking if they want to draw cards with Archmage's Charm, or leave it as a counterspell, or... I really just have no idea what's going on in their hand, if we're being honest. The good news is they are giving us a lot of time. So one thing to keep in mind is they are likely holding the Archmage's Charm to steal a Timeless Dragon. Hornblock Whale is fine, we'll Unable to Scream it. Starfield is awkward. I don't think they have mana leak up. I guess we'll find out, huh? I would love to jam this Starfield so that we can have some redundancy. Like, whoa, okay, alright. I guess we just hope you have nothing. If they have something, it's going to be very difficult to win this game. And everybody clench. Oh boy, alright. We are in business. And we are still the Monarch. So, that means probably I make copies of Iceberg. Yeah. And then anything you say. Okay, how do we feel about play Farmland, hold up Archmage's Charm? Well, they didn't have anything last turn, so actually, I think I'm just going to play the Starfield. Surely they didn't draw anything. Okay. Unfortunate, but it's fine. That means that they did not draw... Yeah, okay, so no flash threat. You know what, I'm just going to start eating their stuff. Okay, great. Untapped land means we get to go Solitary Confinement. Holding up Archmage's Charm. How many cryptids or cryptic commands have they used? Do we care about Waterbending Scroll? I think no, actually. I think Waterbending Scroll is good for us because we start copying it with the Court. Oh no, we just get rid of it with the Iceberg, right? And then on end step, let's go ahead and plane cycle. Get a Prairie stream. Okay. Alright, decided they don't want to play it out. Alright. V-Click, great. Verdict, great. Unable to Scream is pretty good. What cards are bad? Whir is great. Probably trim some ideals. This is not a good matchup for Enduring Ideal. Probably take out a Kiora Busts the Sea God. Keep in Vantress, keep in Starfield. Splendor is fine. We'll only trim one ideal. In this matchup, the scroll is great, the confinements are bad. So actually, let's do this. Nah, we'll bring in a Dig Through Time and a Heliod's Intervention. Maybe cut an Archmage's Charm. Just for efficiency purposes. Yep. I thought we were dead there for sure, but it turns out, no, we won the game. I think our opponent flooded out incredibly, which obviously great for us. Okay, this hand we got a mulligan. This hand, do we have to keep this? We need to draw 1 land and 2 draws, and we've got 24 lands, 23. So that's 46, unlikely to. But if we do, then we've got the Waterbending Scroll and the Shackles. Alright, we'll put back the ideal. No counter magic is a little sus, but okay. Things are not looking great right here. Oh, okay, alright, okay. Surely we draw the land on our next turn. Surely. Oh, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Okay, so what's the route of winning this game? Probably it does not involve this mana leak. It probably involves this Enduring Ideal in some capacity. Oh boy, okay, well, yeah, you got a Sphinx. I think at this point we will discard the Enduring Ideal. Feeling pretty dead. Alright, good enough for me. Maybe, I don't think we showed them the ideal last game, so that was, some might say, not ideal. But that's fine. Alright, I think we just ship it back. Okay, here we are with a classic turn 4 ideal, but no protection. I think in like 2 of our targets. Again, I don't think that this is a matchup where Enduring Ideal actually matters. I think this is a matchup where Heliod's Intervention and Waterbending Scroll and Mana Leak matter. So this hand is much better. Like, we're just going to play a Waterbending Scroll on 2, and then hopefully ride that to victory. If we draw an island, then we are golden. And even if we don't, we get to hold up Mana Leak. And the nice thing about fighting Mono Blue is they don't actually have ways to get this Waterbending Scroll off the board. Alright, you know, of all the non-lands, Lotus Bloom is a reasonable one to draw. So now there's a question, do we Mana Leak a Malcolm? I think so. It's just too much value. And ideally we're drawing a land next turn, and so we'll be using all of our mana. I'm manifesting. The top card is going to be an island. We're going to play it. We're going to pass. And They're going to play nothing out of fear of our counterspells. Cryptic Coat? Alright. That sure is a threat. Okay, well, you know, that was not the island that I was hoping for, but it is, in fact, an island. We get an Irrigated Farmland here because it's going to enter tapped anyways. We'll just play that and pass. The fact that they're not immediately jamming a Sphinx here is good for us. Ooh. Vendilion Clique, amazing for us. If they jam a Sphinx, we probably just click them. Alright, what you got? Oh my god, that's so many mana leaks. Do we care about Archmage's Charm? Not really. I guess it lets them draw cards anyway, and it does counter my Lotus Bloom, which is coming off of Suspend. So yeah, we'll take the Archmage's Charm. And then if they want to spend 2 mana leaks countering the Lotus Bloom, I am very okay with that. Oh, that one's also great. Okay, so how does this go? They're going to pick up the Cryptic Coat, they're going to play the Coat on their turn, we're going to counter it with an Archmage's Charm, they're going to try and counter back with a Mana Leak, we sack the Lotus Bloom. Seems fine to me. Oh wow, just passing. Sure. I will happily take 4 damage to draw a card. We know 3 of their cards are mana leaks. Island is lovely. Second Waterbending Scroll. I think we saved that for now. I think I'm happy with taking another 4 damage. Malcolm. Sure. I think... maybe I should have countered that. No, because we get to let it hit us once and then scream. Oh, wow. Okay, just attacking with everything, huh? Alright, block. Okay, so they have triple mana leak up. Draw a card. So maybe this is how we die. And if this is how we die, so be it. I would rather die drawing cards. Alright. Scream you. Oh, that just worked. Great. What now? So we'll probably Iceberg something. Do we ever Heliod's Intervention to draw cards? I think not. Decisions. I think we take the hit here, and then on our turn... Nah, we just gotta Iceberg. And then if they pick up the Coat and try and replay it, then we can Archmage's Charm. I assume they mana leak here, right? I really hope they let this resolve. Please let this resolve. Please. Please! No! They figured it out. So what do we do now? Let's draw a card. Generally a good way to start the situation. Okay. Oh, we should have suspended the bloom. I don't think we pay for this, because the bloom just counters the mana leak in their hand, right? Untapped island, please. Please! Please! Dovescape. Not quite what we're looking for here. Do we start by drawing a card? I think we have to. Alright, I think we're dead. Unfortunate. Oh, I needed to not draw a card so I could intervention Mana Leak. Okay, well, whatever. If they do anything in our end step, then we get to kill the Cryptic Code and maybe be alive, I suppose. I think we're just dead. Bang! Surely this resolves. Alright, GG's opponent. Alright, we have skillfully won the die roll here against Final Defiance, squeaking into the top 8 on tiebreaks. They're usually on some version of blue-white or blue-red tempo. I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand because Waterbending Scroll on turn 2 is hard for them to beat. Don't forget to suspend the Lotus Bloom here. Alright, which flavor? Green, blue, huh? Alright, so probably more Nadu, if I had to guess. Possible we're supposed to hold up Mana Leak here, although... if they go Nadu next turn, what do I do? Just let it happen, I guess? Well, more importantly, if they don't go Nadu next turn, what do I do? Alright. I think if they play a 3-4 bird, it's going to be rough. But the upside of having a Waterbending Scroll in play is large enough that I'm going to gamble. Okay, V-Click is fine. Probably they take either the Mana Leak or the Dragon here. Dragon is an uncounterable 4-4 blocker, but it does make me tap out at sorcery speed. So, also possible that they just leave this hand, although that would be, I think, nice for me. Okay, yeah, they take the Dragon because they can't counter it. I do have an Unable to Scream here. They're on blue-green flash, probably. I think I take the hit this turn and draw a card with the Waterbending Scroll, and also leave up Leak. And then if they flash in a Nightpack Ambusher, I can Scream it. Hollow. Okay, so that means that they probably are on Nadu, because this targets a creature, and targeting creatures is good with Nadu. I expect they'll flash a thread in here, because they know about my Mana Leak. I just need to hit my land drops. Okay, they've decided to flash into Malcolm. We draw a Lotus Bloom, which is not terrible. Oh, we get a Lotus Bloom off suspend next turn. That's good for us. Cast. And we get the island. My goodness. Suspend second Lotus Bloom. I think we scream the Malcolm. I don't think this game is going to be decided by card advantage. Or by damage, rather. I think it's going to be decided by card advantage and card filtering. And now, because we have this Lotus Bloom up, we're never actually tapping out. Like if they try and... Dovescape is interesting. I think I would rather have that in the deck, but, you know, beggars and choosers. Even if we activate the Waterbending Scroll, we have double mana leak up, so maybe we find a scream here. Nope, just another island. It's fine. Okay, sure, you can draw a card. Best draw in our deck is probably Solitary Confinement. I don't think we're ever tapping out of double mana leak from here on out, though. The good news... Oh, we play the island first, then we draw a card for free. Mystic Gate is fine. Okay. They attack for 3. We get another Lotus Bloom. We draw another card. We get another mana leak. That's nice. I think I'll main phase cycle this Irrigated Farmland. We have the Mystic Gate for additional white mana. Okay, we do need to draw something here. It could be that the answer is we slam a Dovescape and cast the Court of Vantress just to make a bunch of 1/1 flyers. I don't think so, though. I think we just keep playing patiently. That can be the plan for next turn. Okay, they have decided to do something here. Well, that gets countered by mana leak, so let's just push the button. Fourth mana leak, not quite what I'm looking for here. Okay, we are floating out a bit. I think we still don't go for the Dovescape line yet. I think there's still hope. We're not dead on board. We have 3 mana leaks in our hand. Like, if we just draw Enduring Ideal in our next 2 draws, then we're pretty golden, right? Because we just slam the court. Heck, even if we draw like a Cycle Dragon. Waterbending Scroll is a redraw. Aang's Iceberg is not perfect, but it would stop us from dying. Okay, they decide putting me to 1 is good enough. Or 2 is good enough. Which it might be. Okay. Alright. Okay, now here's the big turn. Island, Solitary Confinement. Feeling pretty confident about this triple mana leak situation. I might even cast the Court of Vantress with Lotus Bloom mana. Nah, that's crazy. Okay, resolves. Here's my Court of Vantress. Let's see, if I Court of Vantress, I can still triple mana leak. It does use all of my Lotus Blooms, but that's fine. Okay. That one we can counter with a Lotus Bloom, no problem. That one we can also counter with the Lotus Bloom, but I think I'd rather... yeah, that's fine. Third mana leak. Okay. Alright, you have 1 turn uncontested. What you gonna do? If you have an artifact or enchantment removal spell, you do win the game. If not, I win the game. Okay, Court of Calling. What are you getting? Nadu, maybe? Okay, yeah, that's not going to do it. Okay. I am going to make a copy of Unable to Scream. I'll cast my Lotus Bloom. I think because it's the best thing that they were able to do ever, I just get rid of this Nadu here. Like, in reality, I could also Waterbending Scroll or, like, cast the Dovescape or something, but I think... Oh, what's this? Sure, target the Yavimaya Hollow. You get a birds. I think I can just afford to be patient here. I turn off the Nadu. I draw a card with the Waterbending Scroll. I unable to scream the Vendilion Clique. I don't think I need to play the Mystic Gate. I've got infinite mana up. I could just go get Splendor, but then that potentially leaves me dead to something that I don't know about yet. So I'm just going to pass the turn holding up Mana Leaks, and then next turn I'll start to copy Vendilion Clique. And so if you're ever wondering what card to Lost Legacy here, the answer is Solitary Confinement. The deck is built around Solitary Confinement. If you remove it, then Enduring Ideal gets a lot worse, because Confinement is the only way that I have to deal with creatures in enchantment form. I guess there's also Aang's Iceberg, but... Okay. Yeah, you can keep all of those. Draw a card. I am going to need to win the game at some point. So because their hand has nothing in it, do we now cast Enduring Ideal? I think so. It gives them one turn to top deck, like, something useful. I think... So part of me wants to get Starfield so I can get back the Dovescape, but I don't think... Yeah, let's just do that. Okay. Oh, it also gives me blockers. That's nice. Yep, you have a second Malcolm. I have an uncastable Archmage's Charm. Alright, so we give them one draw step here. If they find a bounce spell for my confinements and my Vendilion Clique, then I have died. If not, we get Splendor and Dovescape in play next turn, and they lose. Second Nadu, sure. So that means we win? I guess they can draw another card with Minamo? Yeah, I'll block. Okie dokie. So let's do... This happens first. You're going to copy Solitary Confinement. You and you are going to get back this Dovescape. So because this is a trigger, Dovescape will be in play before they can counter any spells. Okay, they find a land, means they're dead. Great. Cool. Alright, so blue-green flash featuring Nadu. What do we want to do here? Supreme Verdict is great. Confinement's actually not great in these sorts of tempo matchups. I think I'll trim one. I think Vendilion Clique is great in these matchups. Flash, flying blocker threat. Archmage's Charm is actually not great here, just because it's kind of inefficient for what it's trying to do. Dovescape is good. Kiora Bests the Sea God is not great. You kind of just want... But maybe it's better than Enduring Ideal? Nah. Okay. We'll keep the 2 Unable to Scream. Anything else that we want? No, I think this is it. Like, yep. Ship it. Okay, so this hand would be great if this Timeless Dragon was a land. Alright, say it with me, everyone. The top 2 cards of my deck are lands. The top 2 cards of my deck are lands. The top 2 cards of my deck are lands. I think this hand has high enough upside that we just gotta keep it. It might be too slow against turn 2 Nadu on the play, but if the second card in my deck is an island, then we should be able to wrath them. I wonder if they have V-Click here and are debating whether or not they want to do it now or later. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, please take one of my cards. You know you wanna. Rats. Okay. Well, this game is probably over, but we'll play it out just for giggles. Gonna discard probably the Archmage's Charm. Murex, huh? Okay, alright. We can just go ahead and go to the next game. Murex is pretty good. Alright. Anything we learned there? Not really. I think we just ship it. Revoker could be funny. Okay, we won the die roll. This hand has multiple lands, a Waterbending Scroll, and a counterspell. We keep. Also a removal spell. We love our Swords to Plowshares. The only thing that could possibly make it better is a Whir, so we can cast an Enduring Ideal. We love to see no Birds of Paradise. So now, as always, there is a question of if they... Oh, I was going to say if they cast a Malcolm here, do we counter it with Archmage's Charm? And the answer is probably not. Okay, so that's their only source of blue mana. Do we want to get rid of their only source of blue mana? No, I think not. I think that if they haven't done anything by their end of turn in the... Okay, there's blue mana. We might steal the bop, but... Oh, yeah, sure. I might steal the bop anyway, honestly. Nah, let's just draw cards. As previously demonstrated, combat damage is not going to matter too much in this matchup. What's this? Archdure's Charm, maybe? Destroy an artifact or enchantment. Sure. Timeless Dragon is great here. I don't think we let him know it's coming, because we can play the Mystic Gate. I'm tempted to just take the birds here, but I don't think I want to. I'll just keep holding up counter magic. They can play a Nadu and pay in, like, Nadu plus Mana Leak would be kind of awkward here, but we do have the Unable to Screen. No blocks. Alright. End step, let's Plane Cycle. Do we want untapped blue-white land, or do we want cycling land? I think we have enough mana here. I think we take the cycling land. Then do we use it now? Sure. If they flash in a threat, we can scream it. Ah, we can't scream that one. Unfortunate. Ah, but we can V-click it. So let's just go ahead and do that now. I don't think they will have answers for on board. V-click. Let's just take the Nadu for efficiency reasons. Like, yes, they can court here, but I did take the Nadu, so they gotta be afraid of Mana Leak, probably. No attacks, huh? Indigo, sure. So we took the Nadu, we know they have a cord, we know they have a mana leak. I think I'm gonna scream the Indigo. And then next turn we get to make a dragon holding up Archmage's Charm. Would love to draw a Whir at some point too, because then we can Whir for Lotus Bloom, pay for mana leak. Shackles also a good draw here. Sure, you have a 2/2. I might block here. Yeah, because I've got the second V-Click in hand. Nah, we'll just keep the V-Click as a Stoic Sphinx answer. The Timeless Dragon answers the Imago. Ooh, that is a Whir. Alright. So let's do the uncounterable thing first. I mean, every turn they pass doing nothing is great for me because it means that I get more lands. I get more opportunities to cast this Whir of Invention for something that is impactful. Like, if they do nothing again... Oh, this would be fun. 6. Another Stoic Sphinx is fine. I am going to Whir for Shackles. And probably take their Stoic Sphinx here. Bang. Not do all you want. I guess that is the concern. But if they spend their turn tapping out for Nadu and drawing a bunch of cards, then I get to Enduring Ideal with the Shackles on board. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess they can do it and hold up mana leak. But then I just take the Nadu, right? No, then I take the Eater. Vendilion Clique, huh? Okay. Maybe click into Chord. They have to take the ideal here if that's what they're doing. Really? Okay. Okay. Um. Yeah. We'll untap it. You can have your Sphinx back. Cast Waterbending Scroll. Now, so like if they chord in response to this Waterbending Scroll, I do have the land in my hand, so Counterspell, Prairie Stream. Yeah, I mean, I think we just vibe. If they go get a Nadu, we steal it with Shackles. Okay, the chord X equals 3. I'm going to let that resolve, making sure that I have a stop on my end step. Yeah. I was about to say we can V-click in response, but actually I don't want to. We'll keep the V-click in play. If they have a Knight of Autumn or something, then that could be bad for us. Like, they just kill the Shackles, and then suddenly we are besieged by the Stoic Sphinxes. Larcenist, sure. Oh, that's pretty funny. So they get back the Imago because the Unable to Scream falls off. Sure. Notably, this does give us an extra mana. If they have a Nadu here, it is a problem. Oh, they're just equipping. Sure. No attacks. Crazy. So what does that mean? That means another court? Okay, draw a card. We do have a mana leak proof Enduring Ideal. I think we cast it. Do you have a second mana leak? Sure. I think that's good for us. Obviously, they've now drawn 2 cards here, and it's going to be a little tricky to know who's ahead. I do have infinitely many more lands in play. Yeah, they just gotta send. Block. Block. Yep. Surprised they didn't pump there. Ho ho ho. Archmage's Charm, don't mind if I do. Yeah, we Splendor them. Dazzling Denial, huh? And you control a bird? So they hit us for 6, down to 3. We play a Vendilion Clique. I think we just play the Vendilion Clique here. Yeah, you can have that one. Okay, great. And then we trade with their V-Click. I will happily block this Kitesail Arsonist. Yep. Murex is their unknown card, so they have a Birds of Paradise in hand. No cards in hand, Murex in play. Solitary Confinement is the draw. It's a good draw. I think we start by cycling this Irrigated Farmland. Lotus Bloom. I would like to draw 2 cards. Oh yeah, oh, that's the good stuff right there. Okay, so we have enough mana to do everything that we want. I am going to cast Confinement. No, just the verdict. Because then after the verdict, I'll just go ahead and take the Imago. And then we get to draw cards. Whew, okay. Looking good. Looking good. Yeah, Birds of Paradise not going to get it done. I think we don't untap the Imago. Instead, let's play a Solitary. Let's start by drawing a card. Yeah, let's just put him in the ground. Solitary Confinement, Enduring Ideal for Dovescape. Do we get Starfield? Yeah, okay, we get Starfield. Yep, you have a Mirrex. Whew, and we take down. Wow, what a match. 20 seconds on the clock for our opponent here. And after stumbling to hit lands in game 2, we do successfully beat up on this blue-green Tempo Nado list, which does look great. Right, and here we are for top 4 against Coop, who is on blue-white control. This hand is great versus blue-white control. We've got a couple uncounterable threats, a couple counterspells. The blooms are going to come down at the same time, which will provide a lot of tempo. Okay, so there's also a question of what I get off of this Timeless Dragon. It might be basic planes. I hope not, but I do want to be able to have Archmage's Charm up, and this Mystic Gate lets me do that. Okay, never mind. We found an island, so we're gonna go get the Prairie stream here. Oh my goodness gracious. I did just forget to suspend these Lotus Blooms. In my head, they were already in exile. Secretly, it was a 5 million dimensional chess play. Okay, so we go in plane cycle here. Notably not going to internalize this for a bit because of the presence of Archmage's Charm. Iceberg's great. Honestly, I might cast the Archmage's Charm as a draw 2 here at end step. Yeah, it might be wrong. Like, I might want to save it for next turn so that Coop has to choose between countering my draw 2 and countering the Lotus Blooms that are coming off of Suspend, but yeah. Isn't Cryptic counter draw, maybe? Court of Vantress, don't mind if I do. I would like to become the Monarch, thank you very much. And now it's going to be really tough for Coop here because I'm going to have the mana advantage and the card advantage. So in hindsight, it was in fact a genius move to both suspend the Lotus Blooms a turn late and then draw 2 with Archmage's Charm. It was not a genius move. It was a mistake, but I'm glad that it worked out. This does, of course, give them the opportunity to resolve with a Teferi, but if they do, I have this Iceberg ready to go. And because we have the Blooms, we have Mana Leak to back it up. And then once we have the Iceberg in play, the court is going to start copying Icebergs to answer whatever they land. I don't think I'm playing the Dovescape this game. Yep, there's the Teferi. Probably plussing here. There isn't really anything on board for it to minus on. Like, getting rid of the court does not get rid of the monarchy. Okay, just gotta make sure we don't click through casting the Lotus Blooms. And that's an Enduring Ideal, which we could cast, but I think I'll just play it safe. We'll play the Iceberg, especially because the Dovescape is already in hand. Okay, we get rid of you. Play the farmland, pass. And now we have Archmage's Charm up. Probably not casting Enduring Ideal this game. Maybe once they start getting closer to 7 mana, I'll cast the Ideal. Because they can Hullbreaker Horror on my end step and then untap, and then it's a problem. Okay, I think we just copy Lotus Bloom, right? Just make infinite mana. Infinite, I tell you. Alright, what if I cast Timeless Dragon? They probably have a Condemn. What if I cycle Timeless Dragon for an Irrigated Farmland? Okay, Mana Leak is great. So I think next turn we go for it. Let's just counter that. We have infinite cards. Bang, get out of here. The fact that they cast that is a great sign for us. That means that the horror is potentially not even... Well, first of all, the horror is not coming this turn, and it might not even be in their deck. Pre-board, at least. Okay, we'll copy Lotus Bloom. Yes, use the ability. How crazy is it to go Dovescape into Enduring Ideal? Might be a little too crazy. We're winning. Let's just keep winning. We have a counterspell in hand. Unable to Scream is great. Like, what are they going to do with the Hullbreaker Horror if I'm unable to Scream, right? Like, I guess they can bounce itself. To Fairy. Yeah, we'll go ahead and counter that. And then if they counter back, we just Iceberg it. At some point, we are going to draw one of our giant finishers also. Just naturally. Or a Waterbending Scroll. That's also a good one. Whir of Invention, also a good one. I think we did cast it here. More cards. More cards. Boop. And there's the Splendor. Alright, so we'll just cast that next turn, and then probably the Dovescape afterwards. The fact that this card is symmetric is crazy. And this lets us draw counterspells. Okay, I would like to draw a card. I would like to draw a card. I would like to draw a card. Okay, another Enduring Ideal. It's fine. Here's a Splendor. Okay, you have a dig. Did you find a counterspell? Mana Leak. That ain't gonna do it. Okay. Cool. Now none of their creatures have abilities. I think I should have suspended this, but that's fine. Okay, and then we're going to copy Splendor. Okay, I think it's finally, after long last, time to play the Timeless Dragon. Okay, we discard the Dovescape here, and an island. It's convenient because that means that we can Starfield the Dovescape back into play. I think Poop's playing for time here, probably. And then I think we just pass. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we can turn off the Starfield. If we turn off the Starfield, we give them back to Prairie. It's probably fine. Okay, so, I mean, they're getting back the Teferi anyway, right? So we go... We sacrifice Scry. We'll put both of these on the bottom. And then we sacrifice Scry. Yeah, we'll put that one on top. We'll put that one on bottom. Okay, they plus, which means that we get back Council's judgment. Well, that's a problem. Because our Dovescape's in the yard. We've got no way to get it back. Let's just keep making splendors, I guess. Here's the shackles. What a crazy game. Oh my god. If it comes down to it, we will cast an Enduring Ideal to get the Saga. For now, let's just flashback this guy. Did we find it? Nope. We found a counterspell though, so that's pretty good. So we start here with a Waterbending Scroll. We then attack the Teferi. They have a Condemn, which I think we do fight over. What are the modes? Counter a spell, draw a card. Alright. I think we draw some cards here. There's a Solitary Confinement. There's another Solitary Confinement. Come on, Kiora? No? Well, it is what it is. Here it is. Sure. Second one. Alright. This is my 8/8 Kraken. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Here's a verdict. Probably should have done this last turn. Really? Okay, well, I guess I'm getting a Teferi. Sure, you have an Elspeth. I'm also getting an Elspeth? That's great. Okay, I think maybe Coop just didn't read the card fully, which that is so fair. This game has been very long. Oh boy, okay, sorry for the silence there. I was just focusing on now timing out. Um, Out of the board. I think we said we like the V-clicks, we don't care about the Solitary Confinement because they're not going to have creatures. And then we can bring in Dig Through Time. Intervention's probably good. What do we cut? Maybe Shackles? We want this other dig. Court's great. Let's shave a mana leak. We'll keep one unable to scream. No, we'll take out the scream. We can always V-click to and get rid of Hullbreaker Horror. Hand's great. Keep. Splendor, not the best to have in our hand, but we do have mana leak into Archmage's Charm. We don't have any early threats to deploy, but we do have... Our deck is full of threats, like that one. Whir is especially great in this matchup because it's an instant speed threat that we can deploy on their end step to get a Waterbending Scroll. So, assuming we just keep hitting all of our land drops, we probably don't cast this Whir. Although having a second Whir means that we can go get a Lotus Bloom, and that'll be good. What is this? Shark? Leak. Bang. Get out of here. Sure. Suspend Lotus Bloom. Pass. Hold up. Charm. If they have another shark, then we'll counter it. If they don't cast anything, then we'll probably Whir at end step for a bloom. Just having mana in this, in control mirrors, is so important. Yep, cool. We have a Lotus Bloom. This is effectively counter-target mana leak. That's what this card reads. Disenchant, huh? Okay, so what if we draw two here? Okay, find a land. That's great. And a Solitary Confinement, which is, you know, pretty good. Alright, that is what we're talking about. No mana leak, we are the Monarch. Okay, drawing the Dovescape, not great here, but we're the Monarch. Potentially they're going to play Teferi. Nope, they don't even hit their land drop. Alright. So now we just got to make sure we can win in the next 6 minutes. Yeah, we don't have to do anything. We just sit here with Mana Leak up. And the Monarchy. Draw 2. You got it. Lotus Bloom coming down next turn. They're really digging for that land. Honestly, end of turn I might whir for second Lotus Bloom so that we can cast Enduring Ideal with Leak Up. Although that's not good anymore because of Dovescape being in our hand. It's probably still good. Okay, here's a Bloom. What you got? 4 mana. Heliod's Intervention. Alright, I will cast Mana Leak. Bang. Okay, and then the Bloom comes off Suspend. Yes, I will cast it. Do we just jam a Dovescape here? No. Do we jam Enduring Ideal? Maybe. I think I'm casting Solitary Confinement. Then we can decide on the Dovescape next turn. It is a bit awkward if they Teferi here. Okay. This is our only Solitary Confinement. So I think we go ahead and pitch the Mystic Gate. Yes, I will use Court of Vantress' ability to make another 3 mana. And now we cast the Dovescape. They must counter this. Yep. Okay. Ooh, Waterbending Scroll is nice. Yes, you have Teferi. You plus your Teferi. Let's just make more mana. I think we don't discard anything here. We'll make mana. We'll cast a Waterbending Scroll. Draw a card. Perfect. Okay, so now I will cast my Enduring Ideal. And we have Mana Leak to protect it. I think we Iceberg the Teferi. Could see an argument for Starfielding first, though. Nah, they just Teferi minus on it. Okay. Another Teferi, sure. Okay, so now we copy the Iceberg with the Court. And we go get Starfield. Yes, I would like to use Court of Vantress' ability. We'll exile the Teferi. Okay. Play island. Pass. If they have Heliod's intervention here, it's a bit rough. Can I win? I don't know if I can win. I think we just go to game next game, because I can't cast any spells anymore. I could have maybe done some clock damage there, like make them actually win. Alright, control mirror, we have 3 minutes. Let go. Alright, V-Click is great. This is the matchup, well, this is not the matchup that it's here for, but it is a great one. It means we get to go turn 3, V-Click on their end step, turn 4, ideal for Dovescape. Hopefully all goes according to plan, but we gotta play fast. always yield. Mana leak's good. I'm F6ing through their turn regardless. Okay, play land. Yield until end step. This is also great because now we can V-click plus. So if we miss on land, we can court plus V-click, or court with mana leak up. Okay, we take the silence. Okay, we cast the court. We mana leak their Archmage's Charm. And we hit them for 3. Okay, play island, and we jam. Okay, they draw 2. Probably going to try and slam the Teferi, at which point we get to Iceberg. Okay, so we've got the Monarch going with Archmage's Charm up, Court of Vantress on Aang's Iceberg. What's this? Council's Judgment. No response. Probably hitting the court. Oh, hitting the Iceberg, sure. And then that hits the court. Yeah. We gotta play faster. Oh my god. Ah. Okay. Okay, we hit the Teferi. Draw a card for Monarch. I'd be curious to see if they fire up the Colonnade here. Nope. Okay. Suspend. Go to instep, draw a card. Poink. Okay, here's Confinement. And a timeout will happen, unfortunate. Okay, so we did pretty well in the kickoff, but here we are, a couple months later, and the meta has evolved a bit. So in response, I've switched up some of the sideboard slots. I think Hushbringer is great in this meta. Hullbreaker Horror is a great way to go over the top of the Azorius control decks that are still running around even now. I think if you want to play around with the main deck, the close the door finishers like Kiora Best's the Ski God and Starfield of Nyx, I could give or take those. You could also stand to trim Solitary Confinement. A lot of the decks are running ways to beat the Solitary Confinement lock these days. So, who knows? I think it's still a very strong deck. We'll see if it shapes up to be anything at the Penny Dreadful 500. In the meantime, happy brewing.